Hello everyone, my name is Jose Prado, Man Survival, and I just wanted to update you real quick on what's going on in Virginia. I don't know if you've heard, but it all started with the government trying to impose red flag laws and saying that they wanted to do like other states and just implement them and take people's guns away. But the people weren't going to have it. I have this article from the lawenforcementtoday.com, and it's titled, "It Begins. Virginia forms active militia to protect sheriff citizens from unconstitutional law." Virginia. Earlier in the week, we reported on how lawmakers over Virginia were threatened to use the National Guard if members of the local law enforcement refused to enforce laws passed in the state that they felt violated the Second Amendment. Well, looks like Tazewell County isn't going down without a fight. On top of calling themselves a Second Amendment sanctuary county, they're also crafting a militia as well. The Virginia county has taken the movement that has swept across the state and added an element that is sure to trigger the program-grabbing politicians in the state. Listen to this, and this is very important because this tells you the mindset of the entire state, and this is a state that wanted to implement gun-grabbing laws, and I'm pretty sure the other states that actually do have them in place feel the same way as these counties did. Listen to this. 76 out of 95 counties, 9 out of 38 independent cities, and 13 towns had adopted Second Amendment sanctuary resolutions. The second item in the agenda was the proposition of establishing a militia in the county. When both of the resolution passed, the crowd cheered loudly in support of the decision. Also, the resolution didn't exactly pass by a small margin. The votes were with more than 200 citizens standing by in support. And that is critical because that shows you that just because the big cities in Virginia wanted to have those laws, the big majority of the state did not. And thank God that they're standing up and they're making their voice be heard. The motion of the creation of the militia has already succeeded in an unofficial way based on the results of the survey conducted earlier in the month by county officials. But board chairman Travis Hackworth said people have persisted to press for the district to declare itself a Second Amendment sanctuary. The county is taking their militia elements very seriously as the new ordinances call for concealed weapons training for any resident of the county that can lawfully own a gun. They have also called for schools to adopt firearm safety training programs. That is wonderful news because what we need is people to know how to handle a weapon correctly, especially people who can legally conceal weapons. And I'm glad that the state and the people in the state are taking that step. And they've had a lot of town hall meetings where the sheriffs are going up to the officials and warning them not to mess with the Second Amendment or they will take matters into their own hands. And by that, meaning that they're gonna make sure that they don't have a job anymore. Last Thursday, lawmakers in Virginia threatened to deploy the National Guard to enforce the strict gun legislation they've pushed for if the law enforcement officials refuse to do it themselves. They said the law is the law. But apparently that's a double standard in Virginia. Instead of focusing on what is and what isn't against the law, it seems as though these lawmakers are only pushing to enforce rules that they believe are right. And that is really funny that they say the law is a law, forgetting that the Constitution has been a law for a very long time. Well, since the establishment of this country in 1776. This is very troubling, but also it gives me hope that not everyone in the country is just going to roll over and take it. Other states have adopted the red flag laws, which really this is just a very easy way for them to confiscate guns without saying they are, which is very convenient because They know that if they came out outright and said, we're confiscating the guns, what's happening in Virginia would happen across the country very quickly. But I'm happy to see that the people of Virginia are doing it. And we here in Man Survival, we stand with the people of Virginia. We want them to thrive. We want them to be able to impose this militia and stand up against the corrupted politicians. Now, in private circles, we've been talking about this issue, and I have raised a question. Let's say that the politicians freak out enough that they do call the National Guard to protect them and to enforce the gun grabbing laws. And then the militia comes up to the where the politicians are, and would there be a face-off between the National Guard and the militia? And if one of them stands down, what would be the result of that? If the militia stands down, the politicians win, and they get to do whatever they want. Not only grab guns, but whatever they want. But if the National Guard remembers their oath to protect the Constitution and the people of the United States, and they stand down, or let's not even say they stand down, they turn around and they join the militia, that means that the tyranny of the state, and hopefully of the United States, would be over. But that would be something to be seen. And I come out as an immigrant saying that I support the Second Amendment because I come from a country that understands what it means to not be able to protect yourself. Even if the government does not become tyrannical and they kill so many people like the Russians did or the Chinese did long ago, the criminals will. In Mexico, there's a big problem with criminals taking over and killing very many innocent people. Okay, so I understand. And I stand with the people of Virginia. Man Survival stands with the people of Virginia, that we must protect the Constitution of the United States. So I hope that these words encourage you to not be afraid to stand up and let your voice be heard in your state, in your counties, in your cities, in your towns. Tell your local politicians that they will not infringe the Second Amendment. Let them know where you stand.
I took an oath. When I started this job, I swore to protect the people. I took an oath, which then leads to the agenda of everyone here behind me. For those that might have misunderstood the word of a sanctuary, I don't like the word sanctuary. What we are is we support our U.S. Constitution. I took that oath. I swore to affirm to the Constitution. I will do that. Every good citizen in here has the right to bear arms. I've been doing this for so long, and it breaks my heart to hear how much money you have, and yet the men and women that are here 24/7, and they don't get treated better than that. So with that being said, I know that the board, I think I saw a resolution that says that we are pro-Second Amendment. I sure am. And I know the sheriff can start a militia if need be. So God bless each and every one of them that are out
here. This is the reason why you should be prepped. If civil war was to break out in Virginia, what would you do next? Do you have a plan? Do you even have preps in place for you to be able to survive something like that? Because if the civil war breaks out in Virginia, it won't only be in Virginia. It will be across the country. This weekend we're going to talk about, or this weekend our theme for the podcast is going to be Civil War. We hope you come back and listen to it and give us your opinion. Give us a comment, like it, subscribe. Help us grow and let other people know about us, because we want to help you be prepped for things that are happening right now. Not for future possible scenarios, but things that are going on right now. And please be ready.